This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Welcome to Covered in Pet Hair, a boozy web show for pet lovers on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Isabel Alvarez-Arata, and today I have the pleasure of having a drink and a chat with podcasting, pet-sitting parents. I'll tell you all about them and introduce you as soon as we come back from these messages from our sponsors.
It's designerpetsweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit designerpetsweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. designerpetsweaters.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Covered in Pet Hair. I'm your host, Isabel Alvarez-Arata, and today I have the pleasure of having a drink with pet parents, dog walkers, pet sitters, influencers, podcasters, coffee people, B&B lovers, Missourians, fans of the movie Free Willy, pet parents to a dachshund named Kobe, parents to humans by the name of Lillian and Noah, Meghan and Collin Funkhouser. Welcome, Meghan and Collin. How are you guys? It's so good to see you.
Hi, it's really good to see you too. Happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us on.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way. I was a guest on your show. You're going to be a guest on my show. It's perfect. That's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. For anybody watching our show who wants to participate in our drinking game, anytime we say this word,
the secret word is Kobe.
Make sure you take a drink of whatever you're imbibing, but be sure you're drinking responsibly, never drinking and driving, and over 21 to drink. So that brings me to my question. What are you guys drinking tonight that the kids are at Grandma and Grandpa's house?
Well, we originally had plans for a Long Island iced tea, and we went with the mocktail of just sweet tea tonight.
That's perfect. That's wonderful. I love a sweet tea. I spent some time in Louisiana thanks to my husband's military job that sent us to the middle of nowhere, Louisiana. And I had plenty of sweet tea while I was there. So cheers to you and your sweet tea. I'm actually having a Cosmo, which is like your classic Cosmo. No big deal, but that's what I was kind of in the mood for. So I made a Cosmo, which is nice to have all the ingredients for once because I never have cranberry juice at home. So cheers to you guys for being here and for sharing a little evening with me. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
So that brings me to our first game, because I want to get to know you guys as a married couple, parents to both humans and pets, pet sitters. So you're kind of like parents by proxy to a lot of pets as well. And you are the first humans to have human children on this show, apart from me.
Hey. Number one.
There's a first for everything, right? So today, it's the first time that I get to commiserate with another couple about how challenging it can be to raise little humans, right?
Yes.
Very much so. Our kids are 3 and 5, so we are just kind of coming out of the baby and toddler stage and getting kind of more into the fun stage, but it's still really challenging at times. Yeah.
Yeah. Never a dull moment.
The 3 is not easy. 3 is hard.
Yes. There's a lot of big emotions that they have. They're just starting to learn about these feelings and trying to handle how to express them. Like, it's this process that is, it's an ongoing thing.
Yes, it is. Noah, I have a Noah as well, by the way. So your Noah is 3?
Yes.
So is mine.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I want to see. Okay. So first of all, I want you to tell me about this name, Funkhouser. This is a real name that you were born with, you were given at birth?
Yes, yeah, this is not a made up name. It's not a pseudonym. It's a real name. It's
It's
actual
fun. I
identity.
love it.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, it's a Northern European German name. When it came over, it was actually Funkhauser. So it's Fankhauser. And they've changed some of those vowels around a little bit to Funkhauser. And it's fun. Middle school,
I
it's a
love
little
it.
bit tricky with name calling. Middle schoolers can get kind of creative with that last name.
Wow. Yes, I hadn't thought about the F word. Oh, okay. Oops.
Yeah.
Well, but I love that you named your pet sitting business Funky Bunch Pet Care.
Right. Yeah, it was a way to do a play on our name and just have a little bit of fun with it. And we've gotten a lot of compliments from it where people they get it when they're like, oh, that's what that is. And it's just makes kind of an immediate connection, makes it a little bit more lighthearted, not quite so serious all the time.
I love it. I love it. And that's why I named today's first game Funky Bunch. We are going to play a game that's kind of like superlatives. And I want you to think of yourselves, both of you as spouses, and your children and your doxy, Kobe. And I want you to choose which one best describes this superlative. And you guys are going to call it out at the same time.
Oh, no.
Okay.
And if you get it wrong, as in you don't agree on the same person that fits these superlatives, then you get to drink. And
Okay.
I'll drink with you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So the first one, who is the most likely to win an Oscar? Don't cheat.
Oh, okay,
Just
sorry.
say which one comes to mind.
Okay.
Ready?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. The
Megan.
kids?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
The kids?
Yeah.
Megan, you're an actress?
I can be a little
That's-
dramatic at times.
That is true. Okay. Yeah.
So- Okay, so now we have to drink?
Yeah, we have to drink.
You have to drink and I'll drink with you.
Okay.
That's awesome. That's good to know about you, Megan. Most likely to win an eating contest. 1, 2, 3, Funky Bunch.
Kobe.
Oh, okay.
I say Kobe because when we first got him, we adopted him shortly after we were married. And it was our first year together. And Megan had gone through all this hard work, this hard trouble to make a carrot cake from scratch for my birthday. And Kobe actually climbed up on our couch and got up onto the counter because they butted up against each other and ate a ton of carrot cake.
It was I think 25% of it was gone.
Yeah, he ate 25% of the carrot cake.
While we were gone, and then we came home, and he was like laying on the floor. His belly was huge, and he was like groaning. He's okay.
Yeah.
He's fine.
We took him to the vet and he was like, okay, yeah, well, let it pass and, let me know. Let me know. So,
Kobe immediately regretted that decision.
yeah.
I can imagine. I've been there. I feel Kobe's pain. I definitely have been there.
Okay.
All right. You guys have to drink up, right? Because
Okay.
we didn't get it right.
This is her worst nightmare of us having to do this together and not getting it right.
She's a competitive drama queen.
A little bit.
I feel your pain too, because I can commiserate with that too. All right, next, most likely to stay up all night. 1, 2, 3, Funky Bunch.
Me.
Yeah, I was gonna say me. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So both of you are most likely to stay up all night?
Yeah, we have terrible sleeping habits.
Yeah.
We really need to get better at that.
Yeah.
So your kids sleep well.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. It's just hard with kids because you get them put down to sleep and then it's like, well, we have to make this nighttime as productive and useful as possible
So that during the day we can spend the most time with them.
and doing other stuff. So you find yourself putting the kids to sleep, managing that, and then all of a sudden you look up and it's midnight, it's 1:30 and you're still cleaning or you're still working or, doing stuff like that. And all of a sudden you get tired.
No, I totally hear that. I actually bed share with my kids and neither one of them
cool.
at this age, I still have an 11-month-old. And if I get out of bed, she wakes up. So by 8:30, I'm in bed too. And I'm stuck there until the next morning. She's starting to sleep deeper now. But if I get up, no joke, she will wake up. So I kind of envy your late nights and productive evenings. I look, you don't want to push the time. You want to enjoy these ages, the baby stages, but you also kind of look forward to like when they're a little more independent. And I envy you a little bit.
Oh, it took us a while to get there with our oldest, Lillian. She was a terrible sleeper. I mean, she would wake up about every hour and a half for the first 2 years of her life. and would only
Mhm.
sleep if she was like in a baby carrier on me, walking around the house to get her back to sleep. So yeah, I think terrible sleep habits started then.
Okay, so you guys did not agree, so let's take a sip.
Sorry.
Maybe it's a good thing you chose a non-alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
All right. Who is the most likely to have a book written about them?
Oh.
1, 2, 3, Funky Bunch.
Oh, her. I don't know. Megan's been, you've been very like active and doing a lot of stuff. Like you've been involved in a lot of things over the years, and from undergraduate to graduate school to being a mom to being business owner, like there's a lot of things that you've done and have been successful in that would make I'd read the book, is what I'm saying. I would read her book.
Well, thank you.
Aw, I love that. Okay, that's sweet. Megan, you gotta now you gotta explain why you think he would have a book written about him.
He's just a little like off the wall, and I don't know.
Dissecting the mind of a psycho.
I'd read that.
Yeah, okay. That's a good point.
Yeah.
You too? Okay. All right, take a sip.
Right.
Okay. Who is the most likely to be forgotten at the park? 1, 2, 3, Funky Bunch.
Noah.
Yeah, I think I was going to say Noah.
No, yeah. Oh, hey, we got one.
Yeah,
So
got one.
Noah is very, very quiet, very reserved, and will go and is perfectly fine playing all by himself in the park, doing his own thing, and doesn't really need us, doesn't really want us to be constantly watching him. He'll just go quietly do his own thing and be left alone and be perfectly happy.
And Lillian will make herself known if she doesn't like something. She is very opinionated, and she will let you know.
Yes.
So she would not be forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like my Noah. My Noah would never be forgotten. He is in your face, asking for attention, asking for something all the time. So maybe Mila will be like a Noah. She's already more independent. She plays by herself a lot. She kind of chills more. Noah has always been, like you described, like needing to be held. My husband baby wore too. So it sounds like we have our oldest are the same.
Yeah.
Even though our youngest are named the same. All right. Who is most likely to forget somebody at the park?
Me. I'm distracted easily. I'm definitely the squirrel or off to this other thing and get focused and single track mind and can. Yeah, so I would definitely forget somebody else.
So it sounds like you and my husband have a lot in common.
Uh-oh.
Most likely to drink out of the toilet. 1, 2, 3, Funky Bunch. I can't
Noah?
believe you're thinking so much about this.
Did you say Kobe?
Kobe? I don't know. I said Noah, but just because he likes to explore new things, right? Noah is very, very like, okay, like I'm going to investigate this to its fullest. And unless you catch him and pull him back, like Lillian would be too afraid of germs, or she understands that concept. I didn't say Kobe just because Kobe's a dachshund. He can't reach our toilet. So like he
Got it. See, it's funny. You keep saying your youngest, Noah, is so similar to Mila. Like I would really have to, once she's old enough, I'm going to need to put everything. We thought we baby proofed with Noah. We did not. We need to baby proof with Mila. She's all over the place. So yeah. I'll drink with you because of all the baby proofing I have to do. All right. That was fun. I like to get into like people's families and like, the dynamics that go in there. So explain to me how this couple, you guys started Funky Bunch Pet Care in college. You had such success that you continued after it was your master's program, graduate school?
Yes.
Yeah. Down in Texas.
And you continued it? Yeah, awesome. So and you're doing great.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're fine. Please actually, go ahead.
So we actually started in graduate school, while in graduate school, because graduate school, you don't make a lot of money there. And so we started as a side project to earn a little extra money. And when we did it, when we were down in Texas, we were predominantly going into people's homes, doing house sitting, doing drop-ins to people there. I mean, functionally it was because our apartment, we couldn't board or keep dogs at ours. So we were constantly going there. And we were so busy that there were times where we would just station at different houses and be based. Megan would be on one side of the city, I'd be on the other, and sleeping in different houses for, a week or two while we checked on these other houses and just kind of moved throughout the city that way.
Well, and we only had one car. So he was biking all over the city.
Yeah.
Where in Texas was this?
In Lubbock.
Lubbock, yeah.
Okay.
So, it's kind of towards the panhandle. So, it worked really well because the climate was such that it didn't really rain, it didn't really snow. And when it did, it wasn't a whole lot. So we could make that work where I was biking from house to house to house. And Megan was able to drive and going to graduate school in the meantime and kind of work like that. And we were just shocked that it was as successful as it was because we were kind of coming into it brand new. We knew we loved dogs. We knew we were responsible. And so we don't take for granted the fact that those clients really, really trusted us. And
especially our very first clients who kind of took a shot on us. And,
right.
We're so thankful for them.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you moved back to Missouri and took the business concept model with you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we had actually moved from Lubbock to Dallas. And then from Dallas, we had kids. So we took a little bit of time off while they were, the first year or so that they were growing up. And then we moved back up here about 2.5 years ago and to be closer to family and took it with us. So we had to, say goodbye to those clients at each step, but we've been able to build up a very loyal base here and it's been great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how does it work managing a business that is pretty much 24/7 and raising children?
It's not easy.
It's not.
I don't think it is. No.
No, especially since we do boarding in our home with dogs as well. So that adds another layer where there's an extra screening. It limits the kind of dogs, the kind of clients that we're able to take on.
Well, especially now with kids, if we bring the dogs into our home, even if we had to take the kids with us to a drop-in visit, we have to make sure that the dogs or the cats are okay with kids. And obviously that's done at the meet and greet process, but that is first and foremost in our minds is the kid and pet safety.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's not easy. It takes 1 second for something terrible to happen. And I know that from experience here at my house. I have 3 dogs, but I had one dog that passed away in June who was super reactive around everybody and did not like children. And I had to have them completely separated at all times. I can't imagine you guys taking a boarder in and then realizing this dog is not doing well with my children. Has that happened?
It did happen once.
One time. Yeah.
The dog had never been away from its owners and was a little skittish. And so we did a trial day where we just said, you can come on over. And the owner did not leave town. The owner was still in town to make sure that everything was okay. And so, the dog was reactive and we had to say, we cannot take this dog anymore.
Yeah, it wouldn't even let Megan approach. And so we kept everybody well away and just called the owner immediately and was like, look, we've tried to make this work. It's not going to. We're so sorry, but it's not going to work out. And they understood, right? They understood because they'd never even tried it before. So they didn't even know.
And you know what? Nobody wants their dog to bite a child. Nobody wants that. No. So they were probably happy that you were forthcoming with that. So how do your kids feel about being part of Funky Bunch Pet Care?
I think they love it.
They like it. They say the name an awful lot. And but we get them involved with little tasks around feeding time or around playtime, throwing the ball. If the dog likes to be brushed, we get them involved in those kind of tasks. And they really take to it. They really enjoy being able to care for animals and teaching them proper behavior around animals too. Like they really like a lot of the fluffy ones, especially when we get the really little tiny dogs.
Little dogs.
Oh man. Yeah. Those, there was one time we had this little tiny terrier mix. It was just this little puffball and our daughter basically just carried him around the entire time he was with us.
Yeah. At age 4 and 5, she's like in mommy mode with her dolls. So like this living, breathing, stuffed animal. How awesome for her.
Yeah.
That must be amazing.
Yep.
Well, I want to dig in further because I know you guys obviously have these 2 children. You have a dog of your own. You do pet sitting in clients' homes. You take boarders into your home and you have a podcast that you do. So I'm going to take a break and we're going to pick up where we left off and ask more about your podcast as soon as we come back from these messages from our sponsors.
take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There's no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms. And our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, radio.com, TuneIn, Stitcher, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Covered in Pet Hair. I'm your host, Isabel Alvarez-Arada, and today I have the pleasure of having a drink with a couple of very hardworking people who have their hands super duper full. And they're going to tell me about their podcast, Sitter Confessional. So Collin and Meghan Funkhouser, you already had a ton on your plate, and at some point you all decided that you wanted to do a podcast. So tell me how that came to be.
Well, mostly because of Collin. So you've been listening to podcasts for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can tell it, but you really always wanted to start one, I think.
Yeah, I've always been interested in that concept of what it would be. And we approached it from being like, okay, Meghan and I get to do something creative together, right? We get to do something that's way outside of our comfort zone. Our background is in biology, it's in sciences. It's not creative. It's not in arts. It's not in any of this. And so we thought, okay, well, what are we going to talk about? What do we have to offer information or stories on? And we kept circling back to, well, we have a long history of pet sitting and pet care. So let's talk about the life of a pet sitter from our perspective. And in our target, we'll talk to other pet sitters and just kind of start sharing some stories. And it has been a whirlwind. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, we've just been blown away by being received by the pet care community and all the great feedback we've gotten.
And the awesome guests.
Yes, like yourself.
Thank you. Well, it is a fun podcast. I enjoy listening to it. I was telling them before we started recording that when I first heard the name of the podcast, for some reason, I thought Pet Sitter Confidential for whatever reason. But then when I heard the intro music, I remembered very quickly that it's Pet Sitter Confessional because you have like church music as your intro music. Who came up with that?
Definitely him, because it wasn't until about 6 months ago that I realized what it actually was. Because I came to Collin and I was like, can we change the music? Like, it's kind of like, very solemn, very like churchy. And he's like, it's like going to a confessional.
That's the joke.
I was like, okay. A year into the podcast, I finally understand what it means.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I had no idea that that's what I was going to hear when I asked that question. That is awesome. I'm Catholic and I went to Catholic school my whole life. So I have heard that music and I know exactly where it's coming from and I recognized it instantly. And so I want to know, so have you had any like really, really noteworthy confessions during your podcast, or have you mostly just had like, PG or G-rated conversations?
It's mostly G-rated. It's mostly PG-rated. We do dive into, tell us, your most interesting client or, most interesting experience. We do get into that sometimes. A lot of times it's sharing, how people got started, things they've learned along the way. And then, some surprise, like what's something shocking that you've learned about a client. And we've had people say, I've, had found people in homes that weren't supposed to be there or.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting industry, right? I remember when I was pet sitting full time, I used to own a pet sitting service. And I remember going into the house of a very well-to-do and very well-known veterinarian in my area. And I was so thrilled that I was taking care of their dogs. They had Cairn Terriers and they were beautiful. And I loved that. Every time they called me, I was there. And one day they had been doing laundry and one of the younger dogs grabbed one of my client's thong underwear and was running around the house with it, like the zoomies with the thong underwear in her mouth. And I mean, this is a mansion, and I'm just trying to get this piece of laundry back, and I'm mortified because they're going to know that, like, I don't know where it was. Like, I'm going to have to leave it somewhere, and they're going to know that I handled the thong underwear, and I'm going to be mortified. They're going to be mortified. And I was so mad at the dog, but these are the kinds of things that happen when you're in people's homes, unsupervised, right?
Yeah. I mean, I remember one time where a client had said, because this happens sometimes, they say, you can have whatever you want in the house to eat, right? You're staying here at the house. And I was like, okay, thank you. We'll eat it, be respectful of that. And I remember opening up the fridge and there were just a ton of like little tiny butter containers. And I was like, that's a lot of butter. It's really weird. So I opened one and it was a giant head of marijuana in every single one. And
was it legal to have such a butter container of marijuana at the time?
Not 100% sure. I'm going to go with no, but I was so mortified that I slammed that shut. And all of a sudden, like, I was mega paranoid of like, who's watching me coming and going? Like, what house are we doing? Like, who? Yeah, it was, it was one of those things.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
I know I listened to your podcast and I know that it's somewhat serious. It's about the industry. It's about the people, the players in the industry, but you guys need like a second, like a special that where you do like these kinds of stories. And I want special request. I want one about ghost stories at people's houses because I want to be on that show and I want to share my story, but I also love ghost stories and I hear a lot of pet sitters have them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. I like that a lot. So. Okay. I don't have a pin on me, but I'll write that down.
I'll hold you to it. This is my special request because I really do love ghost stories.
Okay.
So you guys have a sponsor. What came first? The sponsorship, the podcast? How did that come to be?
The podcast came first. I mean, we started off, I think we had 12 or 13 episodes that written down that we were going to do. But we really didn't have any plans really for the podcast. We didn't have any grand plans if we want to
monetize or make money from this. We just wanted to tell stories, right? It quickly evolved into, it's not just us sharing our information or things we've learned. It's pulling other people in and helping them share their stories, giving them a platform to help other people. And then as we started to grow, all of a sudden it was this, like, what could we do with this? Can we find somebody that works well with our listeners and connects with them and directly meets their needs? We started reaching out to a few people and, we've actually grown our sponsorship too. Each episode now has between 2 sponsors an episode. It's been amazing, the kind of feedback, because they know that there's that relationship. There's a lot of trust there. There's a lot of direct overlap with what they're trying to do. And they bring great value to that too. And we're so happy and so thankful for them because it's just again, blown us away by the reception that we've gotten.
Yeah. Well, and we want to be very intentional. Awesome. We want to be very intentional with the sponsors as well. We don't want a toothbrush sponsor to come on because yes, we all brush our teeth, but that's not directly related to pet care. We want it to be specific to pet sitting and dog walking and how we can serve our clients.
That's awesome. So you have Time to Pet, which is a pet sitting software. So it's for pet sitting business owners. I've tried that software years ago and I'm very familiar with it. I think it's an awesome software. It didn't work for our needs specifically, but I think it's an awesome sponsor for a pet sitting specific podcast. Who else have you worked with?
So we have Pet Sitters Associates is the pet sitting insurance.
Also have Pet Sitters International, a big international group of pet sitters. A group, it's been really exciting to work with them. And then one of the more recent ones that we have are working with Pet Perennials. So they are a service that provides you the ability to send condolences cards to clients who lose a pet. And it's like a one button that you click, you give them the address, they handwrite a card, they send out the flowers, the little gift just immediately. And it's not a subscription service. It's a as you need. But it just really takes that weight off of you whenever you have a client that loses a pet.
Passes away.
Not runs away. Yes. It's a different kind of card. But you don't know what to send. You're busy. You can't go to the florist shop. That's all they do. They do that kind of service. And so it's bringing them on board and partnering with them has been, again, a topic too that not a lot of people like to discuss in pet care is that's going to happen.
That is so cool. That is awesome. I've not heard of Pet Perennial. Is that what it is? What's it called?
Yeah, pet perennials.
That is so cool. I have not heard of them. I'm going to link all of these awesome sponsors that you have in the description for YouTube, and we'll also send links to Pet Life Radio so they can put them in your bio so that people can support them as well for supporting you. So before we wrap up, I do want to have one more game because you guys are pet parent experts. You are human parent experts. And I want to know what you guys think is good parenting, bad parenting, and helicopter parenting. We're going to play good, bad, helicopter. Are you ready?
Are you
I'm
ready?
going to tell you. I'm going to tell you a scenario, and you're just going to tell me very quickly. And again, this is one of those things you got to be quick and you got to just answer what you think. I'm going to give you the scenario and you will answer good parent, good, bad, helicopter. Okay. And it can be, I've tried to make these so that they're good for pet parents and that they're good for human parents. So either way, just think for both. If this is normal, good parenting, very bad parenting, or if it's helicopter parenting. All right. Embroidering initials on all of their belongings. Good, bad, helicopter.
Helicopter.
Wearing matching outfits.
Yeah, I was going to say helicopter. I was going to say helicopter. That's a bit...
Okay, so I want to hear from Megan. You think that wearing matching outfits with your kids and your pets is a good thing. It's a good parenting thing.
Well, I would say around the holidays, so like a Christmas card, Christmas pajamas, that's really cute.
Yeah.
That's adorable, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. Yeah.
Okay. Touche.
No, you're right. And there are no wrong answers. This is really just to gauge where you stand on these.
Whether we're good, bad, or helicopter parents. Yeah. That's all she's doing. She's making a scorecard.
I am, and I am probably right there with you, whatever it is that you are. All right. Leaving a scented t-shirt for them when you leave them.
Good.
Good, bad, helicopter.
Good.
I'm going to say, especially for a young kid, like as more toddler or infant, like that can be very, very beneficial. I remember when you went away, we'd go on a night away to get away from the kids. I would put a t-shirt or your pillow with Lillian while she was sleeping to help give her that sense of comfort too.
Well, I was thinking more pet when we have boarders come over.
That's true.
A lot of times they'll take a shirt and keep it here so that the pet knows the scent of the human. Yeah.
Very, very good. Okay. Creating a dedicated social media page for them. Good, bad, helicopter.
Helicopter.
I mean, it's different because, we're kind of protective of our kids. And so I would say it's, more helicopter. But then, the pet, that's really cute. You see all those cute dog Instagrams out there, and that's cute. So
yeah, I'm kind of right with you. We do kind of protect our kids. Don't put a whole lot of pictures of them out on social media because I think that can get a little, there's a lot, right? There's a lot of things that you can put on there. So
yes. Once Noah realizes that all the things that he thinks are hilarious that I'm posting right now are out there, he's not going to be happy with me. And every day that I post something, like yesterday, I posted that he got his first cleats, soccer cleats, and he thought they were tap shoes. So he was like at the Adidas store, like tap dancing. And I think that like in 5 years, he's not going to think that is as cute as I think it is today. So I probably need to take a page out of your book and stop posting about my kid. But he doesn't have his own Facebook or Instagram. It's just on mine. Sure. He says, sure. Okay, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
We're not judging you at all. Okay, ready? All right. Good, bad, helicopter. Gender reveal parties.
Good.
Bad? I don't know.
Well,
we didn't know either of our kids before they came out. So
yeah, they were both, we had to do 2 names for each.
Because I like surprises. That's kind of why I said bad, because I wanted to be surprised.
Sure.
I mean, it was hard to wait, but I wanted to be surprised.
Yeah. And I like the idea of celebrating it. If you decide to celebrate it, go big, pop the balloon, rev the motorcycle, have the thing shoot out. I think it'd be really fun and really good to see everybody come together and be excited about that. But yeah, I think for us, we would have been kind of peeved if it was ruined in such a way where we were looking forward to that surprise of going, ooh, it's a boy or girl.
On the day of delivery, you wanted to find, I think it's amazing that people have that kind of discipline. I could not. I needed to know immediately. We did genetic testing. I need to know immediately. I don't even care about the genetic testing. I just want to know what I'm having so that I can plan the name and all the outfits and all the things because I'm a control freak and a planner. So
mostly because then once you say, oh, I'm having a girl, there, everybody's like, oh, we have to buy you pink stuff. And, what are you going to name? And if, the opposite, it's blue and boy. And we just didn't really want to answer those questions.
Yeah.
We're more kind of private. Yeah. So just,
Got it.
Yeah.
See, I respect that tons. And we have friends who they just had their second, a baby girl, right around the time that we had Mila, and they would not tell us her name. They wouldn't tell anybody her name. They knew she was a girl, but they wouldn't tell her name because too many people have too many opinions on names. So they were like, we don't want to tell anybody. They'll find out the day that we announce it for everybody to know. And I totally respect that. We don't care though. If people didn't like our kids' names or any of that, they never said anything because I guess maybe they're scared. They're scared of what I would say. What do you mean you don't like it? All right. We have two more. Flying them first class. Good, bad, helicopter.
Helicopter.
No, I was going to say good. That just sounds like fun.
Why do you think helicopter, Megan?
I don't know.
It's a little extra, right?
A little bougie.
A little extra.
I'm kind of frugal. I like to save money, so.
So Kobe will not be flying first class anytime soon.
Probably not.
No, unfortunately. Sorry, Kobe.
That's probably the only way I could get Titan on a plane. My old grumpy hound dog is to sit him in first class and feed him shrimp or something. That would be the only way he would get on a plane. All right. Last but not least, and I know you know this. I know you've experienced this. Good, bad, helicopter. Leaving a 3-page guide for the sitter.
Good. That's good. Yes. Because as a sitter, I want to know all of that information. The more information, the better. It can feel a little overwhelming, when you first read it or as you're writing it. But when you come into that situation, oh, great. They told me all of the likes, all the dislikes, all the scenarios that I can expect here. It's just I don't have to think about this. And just it's all written down for me. It's great.
Agreed.
I agree. I would prefer people over communicate than under communicate and then be like, why didn't you do this? I don't know, but you needed me to do that, right?
Yeah. Same thing for kids. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes I feel like a helicopter parent with Noah specifically because he's such a big personality and Titan, both of my oldest, both dog and child, are so extra that I really need to explain them to other people and be like, well, that's normal. Titan's going to stare at you until you feed him. He's going to stare at you until you move off his place on the couch. He's not going to want you to put him over in that room. He's going to want to sit on the couch. He's going to beg for food and he's going to want to go outside all the time. And then when you put him outside, he's going to want to come immediately back in, but then he's going to want to immediately go back out. And these are all normal behaviors for him on a daily basis. This is not him being anxious or not doing well. This is just who he is. I feel like when the pet or the child needs it, you need to explain these things.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we work so hard to get a routine down, and it really works, especially when it really works for the kid about sleep schedule, play schedule, eating schedule. It's they are happy. This is working for us. Please
don't mess it up.
Don't mess it up. Right? It was so hard.
Please, because then I have to come back in and do it your way, even though I've worked for the past 6 months to get them on this schedule. Yes, totally.
Right.
I totally hear that. All right. Well, let us know, our listeners know, how people can get in touch with you, your business, your podcast. Where can we find all that we need to know about you guys?
We are all over social media at Sitter Confessional, and you can find our podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts, or at PetSitterConfessional.com.
Perfect. And what area of Missouri do you service, and what is the website that people can find you in that area?
So we service Central Missouri, the actual Sedalia area, and you can go to funkybunchpetcare.com.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for spending your Saturday with me. There's a million things you could have done while the kids are with their grandparents. So I want to thank you and toast to you for spending your time with me. I also want to propose a toast to our executive producer, Mark Winter, for making this show possible, and for our listeners on Pet Life Radio and our viewers on YouTube. Here's to a life covered in pet hair, because there is no better way to live. Cheers.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.